Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. It is June. It is mid-June almost by the time I'm filming this video, and it is almost halfway through the year. I thought it would be really interesting to sit down and kind of look at my halfway through the year reading stats. I am a type of person that enjoys looking at stats. When it comes to anybody's channel, if they sit there and they'll talk about their reading stats, I am seated, I am with a drink, I am with snacks. I enjoy seeing kind of the graphs and how far they're doing in their progress as far as like maybe the challenges they've set for themselves. And here we are to talk about mine halfway through the year. So we're just going to cut straight to the chase. We're just going to go ahead and talk about stats first, and then we'll talk about how I'm doing in my challenges, and then my hopefuls for the second half of the year, because so far, I'm not gonna lie, I've been doing fairly well, but that could always change. We got to stay on top of it. We got to stay on top of our reading. So my goal for the year is to read 60 books. That has been my goal for the past 3 years. I feel like it is very attainable for somebody like me who has 2-3 jobs, 2 kids, a husband, runs a household, does a lot, and reading is a spare time hobby thing that I have really tried to do as much as possible. So I have set my goal as 60 books, and so far halfway through the year we are right on track. I am at 30 books already read at this point, and I am 5 books ahead of my goal, which is sort of on track with where I've been every year. So like I said, the past couple of years I have set 60 books as my goal, and I've hit, I think it was 70 and then 71 and then 72, or 71, 72 the past 2 years respectively. So I am kind of on track to reach that 70 goal again, but I want to get a little bit higher. But of course my goal is 60, and we're on track for that. With the 30 books, I read 11,049 pages. My goal is at least 2,000 pages a month, and I have definitely been able to do that. My average time to finish is 5 days, which is actually not my favorite. I think my average time to finish last year was 4 days, but I love that like sweet spot of 3 to 4 days. If I can get like 100 pages in a day, and then it's like a 300-page book done in 3 days, move on. I like to average out at 3 to 4 days. 5 days is a little too long, and I think it's because there was points throughout the year so far where I've been in reading slumps, or maybe have read a couple longer books that have taken me a little bit longer, but I want to get that down to 3 to 4 days. That's like my goal. My moods definitely don't surprise me. This circle graph has basically been the same the past 2 years. Major is dark, tense, mysterious, adventurous, emotional. I do tend to read a lot of horror, so dark tends to always be the biggest chunk of that pie, so that makes sense for me. Looking at the page number circle graph, 10% of my reads have been over 500 pages. I don't tend to read that long of books, but I am currently in the middle of a few series where the ending books are fairly long, so that might change here soon, and I feel like that's definitely going to throw off my average time to finish, but I'm hoping to get through them rather quickly. 23% are less than 300 pages, and the majority, 67%, is 300 to 499 pages, which is typically the size of book I read. Again, my genres do not surprise me. I have read the most horror this year, but then I think about it and I'm like, have I really read the most horror this year? I feel like I haven't read that much horror at all. Like, I want to read more. So I guess 10 books horror. Young adult, that section makes a ton of sense because I have been rereading The Hunger Games, so that makes sense. Thriller, romance, fantasy, and I guess my least is historical, which was probably The Nightingale, was probably the only historical book that I read. The number of books and pages with the 30 books, 11,049 pages, you can see it here with the monthly. So like I said, we're in June right now, so I haven't finished a book yet. I will, hopefully, you know, but it looks like I average about 6 books a month. In April, I only read 5, which was disappointing for me, but then I picked that back up in May with reading 7, and then like I said, I always try to get over 2,000, and I've been able to get over 2,000 pages read each month, which is my goal. My average star rating for the year so far has been a 3.84. I feel like that's actually on the higher end, which I'm really happy about. I haven't had any 1 stars this year, which is great, but I also feel like that's so bad for the end of the year. When I do my worst books of the year, I'm going to be pulling from some like 3-star reads, but I have had a few 5 stars. Most of them had been The Hunger Games, but I've only had 1 2-star, which is good. I guess that's like a good average rating. I shouldn't be upset about that. I should be happy that most of the books that I've been picking up to read this year I've enjoyed. And with that, the best book that I have read this year thus far has been From Below by Darcy Coates. I've talked about this quite a bit. I tend to really love underwater horror, and that really kind of sparked it with this one. It is a longer horror, a slow burn horror about going underwater with a documentary crew to discover a sunken ship and all of its inhabitants, and I really loved this. This was a 5-star for me. This is definitely my favorite book so far this year. I'm really hoping to find more 5 stars because the majority of my 5 stars have been the Hunger Games series. series, so I'm hoping to find more. And then my lowest rated book so far this year, I guess you could say my worst book so far this year, was my 2-star with Clown in a Cornfield by Adam Cesar. I didn't vibe with this one. It was not something I really enjoyed. It's a YA horror slasher, which tend to be my favorite, but this one just didn't do it for me. So this is my current favorite book of the year and least favorite book of the year. Now, as far as the personal goals that I've set for myself, of course, these 60 books in a year, reading half, is a personal goal that I've set for myself. I'm doing great there. But I'm also doing the ABC Reading Challenge, the Rainbow Reading Challenge, and I picked 25 and 2025 books that I want to read, so let's go over how I'm doing with those. The ABC Reading Challenge and the Rainbow Reading Challenge, I both document pretty heavily in my reading journal videos, so if you're interested in those, I would definitely suggest checking those. I also keep track of them in my phone on my notes app because it's easier. So as far as the ABC Reading Challenge, as you can see, I'm doing decent. A lot of these I feel like L, D, maybe not the lower letters, but like, yeah, L, D, and G are letters I feel like I should be getting, but I'm not. So hopefully I can get those soon. But I feel like so far I'm doing fairly good when it comes to the ABC Reading Challenge, the Alphabet Reading Challenge. And then when it comes to the Rainbow Reading Challenge, I added pink, black, white, and brown at the bottom just for some variety. I'm doing really well there. I just need a yellow and a brown, which I'm sure I can find in my TBR. If you look right here, I have quite a few. Yellow. I don't know if I have any brown. I might have to get creative with that one, but yeah, those two, well, I guess the Rainbow Reading Challenge I'm very nonchalant about, but I am pretty like apt to try and finish the Alphabet Reading Challenge. And then as far as my 25 and 2025 is going, we're halfway through the year and I have read 18 of my 25 and 25 books, which is really, really good actually. I've been trying really hard to incorporate them as much as possible into the reading vlog ideas that I have. I actually have a reading vlog coming soon, solely incorporating my 25 and 2025. I think that's coming out next week, so be on the lookout for that one. But yeah, I'm doing very well with my 25 and 2025, and I feel like if it even gets to the end of the year and it's like crunch time and I have like 4 left, I'll just read them quickly to have them read. But the more I read those books and look at my TBR shelf like today, the more I'm excited for 2026 because I have so many books I would love to add to that, so I'm itching. Now, as far as reading vlogs go, I will link my reading vlog playlist down below for you guys. I try to do one a month because, like I said before, the booktube is not my full-time job, and I just recently kind of transferred my channel from a variety of things over to kind of more reading focused. So I only have 4 real reading vlogs that have gone up so far this year. I have another one, like I said, coming out next week, but I'm very excited about them, so I will link the ones I'm talking about. But so far this year, I've done reading books from the 2024 Goodreads finalists, which was really fun, and I found that I really loved We Used to Live Here in that vlog. That was one of my favorite books, I think, from that vlog. And I mean, reading Goodreads finalists, you're gonna find some great books because most of them end up being 5 stars. I think The Love of My Afterlife was in there, which was 5 stars, and I Hope This Finds You Well, which was also like a 5-star read for me. Then I read reading books that I think will be 5 stars. I really liked this because I went into this with really high hopes for certain books and ended up discovering that I either hated them or ended up really, really loving them. That vlog was actually pretty successful because that's where I discovered The Nightingale, Part of Your World, and of course From Below, which is my best book of the year so far. Then I read reading booktuber recommendations, books that I bought solely because of booktube, and that was also a pretty successful reading vlog because that's where I discovered Magnolia Parks, which I adore. And then the latest one that I did was the Besties Pick My TBR jar, which was my channel members listed basically whatever books they saw from my TBR shelf that they wanted me to read. I pulled them out of, is the jar here? And I ended up reading some books from there, and that's where I found Flawless, which has been one of my favorite books that I read in May. So far this year, my reading has been okay. I feel like I'm doing really well on my 25 and 2025 challenge. I'm finding books that I'm enjoying. Like, it's definitely in the middle there. I'm not getting a bunch of 1 stars and 2 stars, but I'm also not getting a ton of 5 stars either, and I really want to find more. So I'm definitely looking forward to the rest of this year. I'm excited to go through the full year stats with you guys in January, but I just feel like this year has been pretty okay so far, or pretty like mediocre reading year, and I need it to pick up. I need it to get better because my TBR is full of incredible books. I just know I'm gonna find another 5 star. I just gotta get to it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you are a stats person like me, this was something you were excited to see as well, but let me know what your goals for the year as far as reading go. I would love to know what your goal for, like how many books you want to read, if it's 12, 1 book a month, if it's 6, if it's even just reading 1 book in a year. That's still so good. There was a time, I think it was in like 2018, right before I got pregnant with my second, that I only read It, and I read It by Stephen King for 3 months. That book took me 3 months to read, and I was so proud of myself, as I should be. That book is quite long. So if your goal is even just 1 book this year, or if your goal is literally 200, I mean, that's you. I'm proud, honestly. I wish I could read 200 books in a year, but alas, I get really tired at night. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Go ahead and subscribe if you're not already, and hopefully we can get some better reading done for me this year, right? All right, bye guys.